Moving on to the next step, just a little introduction on how the machine works, maybe a little bit different take on things from what JR said in his video. This is a piece of rosewood that's going to go into a Sierra pencil kit. And I'll just show you very briefly, very quickly, how it mounts on here. Notice also that the wood has been turned around into a cylinder, and that it's proud of the bushings about 32nds to a 64th of an inch, and then straight across. The reason I do that will become clear as you watch the video. So I'll screw this into this device here, and I'm going to tighten it down with the wrench, little box wrench. And this will go into the indexing mechanism. Then lock it down. You don't want to lock it down too tight. Make sure that it's going to end up spinning on this axis. There's no bearing here, so it's got to be loose enough where it can still spin. And then use this little curl nut to lock it down. You can tighten that pretty tight. Then make sure that your stops are in the right location. You've got 2 stops, and it's a good idea to, when you first set the machine up, to register the first stop and where you want it on to begin on the wood, and then take it all the way to the other end and see where that registers. And the way I'm doing it here, just a little trademark of how I cut these pieces. I'm taking the stop to about 1/4 inch from the outer edge, and you'll see as we go through some of the designs of the way I turn these pins. I like to embellish them quite a bit, so I end up about a 1/4 inch clearance on either side that I'll put some beads or some other kind of embellishment and decoration. The next thing you want to do is adjust this little screw that rides up against this brass tube so that the depth of cut is the way you want it. And I'm going to adjust it so it's about a 64th of an inch deep cut. And how I'm doing that, I'm just placing the cutter up against the wood and then adjusting the screw and then eyeballing it from the back side so that I can see what the gap is between the back of the screw and this brass rod. Get this thing going. I'm going to, it's set on the first index. It's very tight. The machine's not going anywhere. I'm going to turn the machine on. Crank it up, pierce the wood, and turn it through its complete cycle. So we got a nice clean cut, no jagged edges, everything's looking good. And I'm going to go over 4 steps on my indexing. 2, 3, and 4. Go back to the beginning and then make another cut. On the Beall Pen Wizard, there are 24 holes in this indexing wheel, and so if I make one cut with every 4 holes, that means I'm going to have 6 of these spirals. And I'm using the most pronounced spiral in the setup, which means these gears here are the ones that I'm using. And you've got several other gears that come with the system, so you can get different levels of spiral. But this is the most pronounced version of that spiral effect that you get with these particular gears. So we're going to go all the way through and make our 6 spiral cuts, and then we're going to come around the other side and reverse these gears here and end up making a basket weave and cut the opposite direction. Also note that with this Fordham, it's fairly light. There's not a lot of weight here, so I'm having to hold the piece down as I cut. Okay, now you can see I've made all 6 of my spirals in this piece of rosewood. Now I'm going to reverse the angle on this cut, and you do that very simply. There's a curl nut here that holds these series of gears in place. We'll just loosen that up, and we'll move the gear mechanism up and retighten. There are two little holes that little nut screws into to hold everything in place. And now that we've moved that gear mechanism up, magically, when we make our cuts, the spiral will go in the opposite direction. So there's the first of our 6 cuts going in this direction, and what we're aiming for is a basket weave effect. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, there we are. Our basket weave effect is complete. From here we can finish up the pen. Now I'm going to remove it from the Pen Wizard and the blank here, and take it back over to the lathe and do some further embellishment. 1/8 inch parting tool. Bring that all the way down to the bushings. And back to my skew, and we'll make a little bead. On the end there, just for decoration's sake. I think having that transition from the from this flat part over to the basket weave part via this little bead gives you a real nice effect. Okay, from here we'll sand this and go through a three-step buffing with triple E white diamond and some Renaissance wax, and we'll be good to go. Okay, just to wrap things up, here's a photograph of the Sierra pencil, mechanical pencil that we were working on earlier. It's showing the basket weave without any further embellishment, and this is a different version of the same kind of mechanical pencil, using a basket weave with a glitter fill. So just a couple of variations to give you some idea of the capabilities of the Beall machine. Looking good. Thank you.